application activities. In praying for bail, Your Honor, it is for this reason, Your Honor, the defense wishes to introduce Kennedy on watch. He is 32 years of age. Wines and spirits shop. Your Honor, Kennedy is the sole provider for his 6 children.
Just a minute, you can pause.
Sorry.
Can you proceed?
Yes, Kennedy, Your Honor, year old. The second accused person of age
Just a minute. Is it the youngest? Yes. The youngest child?
is only a year old. Is a year old.
Proceed.
The second accused person, Nicholas Otieno, age, and manages a pool establishment in order to make ends meet. Is only 19 years old, years of age, has a finally, Your Honor, the eighth accused person, 40 years of age, has a wife, and is also the sole as an enforcement. The County of Homa Bay, Your Honor. He's employed as an enforcement officer by the county government of Homa Bay.
Can you take the name again?
Once again for the court records. Your Honor, mine is to of the Constitution. But Your Honor, more fundamentally, a 3-page affidavit 15th July of 2025, Your Honor, took place on the 7th. Averments by the deponent. For example, Your Honor, at paragraph 15, that she believes that these mobile phones there is no supporting document. The reason she's believing. Your Honor, in this court considering bond, the court is guided by a number of factors. One of them, Your Honor, is the character and previous criminal records of the accused persons.
Said character.
And the previous criminal records of the accused persons. That's a fundamental factor that this court considers on this question of bail bond. That opportunity. There is no annexure in respect to the previous criminal records of the accused. And the reason so, Your Honor, is that there's none. If there was any, from the 5th to tied to that, Your Honor, tied to the question of the accused criminal records, is on the question complied or observed previous bail bond terms.
That is the second factor of
The second factor. Has not been placed before you. And Your Honor, the witnesses and the second last is on the question of the age once again, Your Honor, that has not been provided to you. Has indicated to you the various ages of the accused persons. barely earning, Your Honor. They are married and they have children. Your Honor, I pray humbly so lastly, for me, to whether the accused persons are at flight risk. It has not stated, has not provided evidence to indicate of February one time. What this affidavit tells you is that the accused were arrested and Your Honor, as will be the accused were arrested of business. Of the 10, that is home. This court that these are not the original were arrested before a court of law within the jurisdiction that they were arrested, and Your Honor, at the end of those proceedings, the accused persons were arrested. these 8 accused persons are not at flight risk. Release them on free bond.
But then of the Constitution, and specifically the imperative that the relation for the state to seek to limit when you're, I'm sorry, I'm guided. Wish for a time when transcript to achieve that purpose. Therefore, they must establish that nexus, the relation between the means to achieve that purpose. We proceed. The second thing that comes Article 49(1)(h) is that it mentions compelling reasons the Criminal Procedure Code, the judiciary bail and bond policy guidelines come into place. Section 123A, as my learned senior has brought out those factors aptly, as recognized by the High Court in the case of Francis Macharia Karich versus AEHC 5023. Repeat the citation. Francis where it was stated that require the courts to lean towards admitting accused Your Honor, the primary consideration, regardless of the multiplicity of factors, admit the accused persons to bail or bond is whether that they will abscond trial. case of Republic versus William Mwangi wa Mwangi. Whether to admit accused persons. Pardon, Your Honor.
Repeat the citation.
Citation is Republic, the availability of the accused to stand trial. On the omnibus criterion, on the availability of the accused to stand, in the manner that they seek, they must and that burden must be discharged on a balance of probabilities. Versus Republic, 2021 KEHC. It's a 2021 matter. KEHC. KEHC. The court stated that for the prosecution to establish the existence of compelling reasons, of beliefs, but on evidence proved on a balance of probability.
An advocate of High Court. And all other courts. Thank you very much, Your Honor. I want to draw your of the DPP, Article 157(11). Is the DPP promoting public interest and confidence? In exercising the powers conferred by this article, process, that the police failed to establish anything useful one H of the Constitution. Taking custodial orders within the court precincts. Your Honor, you saw that happening in your own court. Your Honor. Rearrest them. Use to arrest Kenya. They themselves being a source of terror to the innocent Kenyans. Experience. And I'm very sure, Your Honor, after you shall have let us not be surprised that maybe the anti-stock theft unit that some cows so therefore, Your Honor, process is to talk about the jurisdiction. In Homa Bay, and to tell you that the DPP is interested in wasting the court's time and these law courts was not fit to handle such a matter. And the children's courts, because they have special jurisdiction. This court and children's Your Honor, terrorism is an ordinary. And there is no special prosecutor that is assigned this prosecute terrorism. Any prosecutor can do it from any part of this country. So we are his only mistakes. This is clearly what we state as shopping. This is why we move them from Mawego all the way being investigated on was malicious damage. And now they are being charged with terrorism. So we cannot. In the morning were presented before you with a fictitious Your Honor, it can only mean that the which is again serious disrespect. Your Honor, all the witnesses that and it will be very costly, Your Honor, to every time transport witnesses here. And Your Honor, states that the DPP does not get direction from anybody. Which is clearly being Why am I saying so, Your Honor? Because after the president country deserve terrorism charge. Then all of a sudden the DPP became clever and said that we need to charge every Kenyan who pickets and with an intention to present petitions under Article 37 should be charged. One is innocent until proven guilty. And innocent fishermen, innocent transporters of fish, court. 2020. Constitutional right. Prosecution conjuncture. Therefore, the reasons placed before you, Your Honor, of PUFF and misrepresentation of facts. As a parent, Your Honor, that therein when I was talking to them, they told me that Nairobi, just because they could not even afford fare from Homa Bay to Nairobi. Bail to this I rest my case, Your Honor. God bless.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Good afternoon. I will take like 2 minutes. So, Your Honor, I want and 2 others. Yes. Criminal Division E020. Your Honor, this is the accused were charged with they were from Mandera, Your Honor. CP considered this act of terrorism and the court, or rather the DPP, placed like this one. In that case, simply because they were coming from across the border into Ethiopia. Considering that bail and bond is an the accused were still to bail and bond. Your Honor, as you've been Homa Bay is a county that is very accessible, Your Honor. In the morning today. On whether they should be admitted on bail and bond. As this one have not been Article 49 in the Constitution, shielding the citizens of this country from the terror of the state. I humbly
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
Mr. Juma, are you submitting?
I'll make it 3, Your Honor. I'll make it 3. This is Abna Mango. Yes, Your Honor. By my colleague here, Babu, we know that do not consider his submissions to be full of surmise and conjecture. Your Honor, just to pick from where Babu left, Your Honor. For this honorable court to entertain judicial proceedings in a manner that, as we have seen in the last 2 process, and we shall, in the fullness of time and at the trial of this matter, no reason absolutely that this
brought before you on charges the Prevention of Terrorism Act. But just to remind the deep 4 of the Office of the Director of Public Prosecution Act, Your Honor, the office in full C, 4C, observe to the rules of natural justice, promote public confidence in the integrity of the office, to discharge the functions of the office on behalf of prevent abuse of legal process. The said word appears. Your Honor, what is the 8 accused persons, Your Honor, of this affidavit in opposition of bond. For those of us who've been litigating these matters for the most of these grounds are a mere copy paste. Ground 14 talks to them do not even have mobile phones, so I don't know what they mean by huge number. There is no inventory attached. Prejudice of ongoing investigation on some of the witnesses. Police officers, the manner and style in which we know how they wear ski masks and state-of-the-art machinery, fishing line and net. Sagrai is SGRAY, where the court found that for prosecution, it must place material before court which demonstrates actual or perceived interferences. Your Honor, we've already established that these witnesses. And finally, in the case of Panju versus Republic, which is not cited, or should be proved to the court. Otherwise, it is an ask favorable bail and bond terms.
I wish to take a very short break.